win it all this weekend. What do you think? Is he capable this time?
That's cooking too
Why
much.
not? I mean, somebody consistently topping events.
Maybe in
It
5
really
years'
seems like
time.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a miracle run in Dortmund. He already did this at the
The
European
draw phase,
Championships.
but
Was
agreed.
then defeated by
That's
Chris
2025
in
Yu-Gi-Oh!
top 8 as well. He has been to some American YCS.
Just
and
no. First,
also
probably will
made
come
top
back,
4
and we
or
all
top
get to go
8 there.
+1.
He is well known for those deep runs. I saw a socials post from him once. He says, "Man, I just want to win a major tournament." And I mean, that's a lot to ask, but he can actually accomplish it. And I think this might be the
If
tournament.
Pot of Greed ever comes back, it'll be so frustrating. Because every deck will want to play it, so it means your Pot of Prosperity and your Pot of Extravagance decks will want to play Pot of Greed. And then you'll just randomly have Prosperity and Pot of Greed in your hand, you'll be like, fuck.
I think I would just play that over like I would just play 3 Sky Strikers. I would take out the pot of whatever pot I'm playing at the moment. But
of course,
it would be hilarious because everyone would just be playing 3 Drolls and then
Rescuers versus Gabriel Nets on Labyrinth, that's a first.
This is a good matchup.
And he won the die roll as well, and therefore you definitely have to look out for him. And he starts off with Kashtira Fenrir here in his Rescue Ace strategy.
Yeah, that makes much more sense. When I saw the hand initially, I thought, why is he running Card Trooper? But it is the ultimate rare copy of Kashtira Fenrir.
Rota for airlifter. You get trolled here, it's Giga Sage.
Kashtira Fenrir and then not immediately activating the effect, but going for a search first, so you can get those valuable searches before you get hit by Joel Blockbird.
Yeah, respecting the draw lockbird, which is even in his own deck, so obviously he respects.
But if we rotted to pay half your life when you take no damage until the end of your next turn, I would still play it at 3. What the fuck? My guy, we played runic cards.
Quickly reconsidering his options in hand, but deciding on
I was gonna say like that even that is like sure, I'll take.
What do you think
That's
of this
so
matchup
worth it.
overall? I've heard a lot of people say that it's very nice for Labyrinth because
Anything
the
for my
powerful
+1.
cards, the Rescue Ace set don't do too much. They don't destroy spells and traps, so
yeah, I do agree. It seems like
Anyway,
a good
airlifter,
call
emergency,
to
emergency
specifically
summon,
rescue a stack, and that's
hydrant,
probably one of the main reasons why Labyrinth is so
turbulence,
successful
or
this
preventer depending what you
Labyrinth
need.
is one of the best decks right now, especially in this tournament, especially this meta call. People have been dropping a little bit of spell and trap removal. People are
And here
of
we're
course
gonna go
also
Fenrir
shifting
because we
towards
know there's
Cosmic
no
Cyclone,
troll.
which is
Add another
naturally
Fenrir.
very strong against the deck. However, you're laughing right now because of the Cosmic Cyclone, but they're maybe not playing those Lightning Storms, those Evenlies. I mean, we've seen all of those, or those Hobby Feather Dusters anymore. And the deck has changed as well. It's not just set for back row anymore. It's a lot of combo-ish play.
Absolutely. And I mean, let's be honest. Gabriel Nats has switched away from Telements, and we know how much he loves that deck. He was so happy he could play that
So
again.
just switching to Turbulence, so it's gonna be a small
And when
board.
he goes away from that deck,
How's Josh
play
doing?
Labyrinth
He's in
strategy,
top
that already
16.
tells you that the deck
Playing
must be in
his
a really good spot right now in the
runic
format.
yeah, I mean,
Bastille
he doesn't strike me
branded
as the
deck.
type of person who wants to go around setting 4 traps.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think he's going to set a few traps and then summon some monsters.
I do agree.
I've always kind of thought the Rescue Ace deck is a bit like an upside-down Labyrinth deck because it summons some monsters, which then set all your traps, whereas the Labyrinth, you set a bunch of traps and then summon all your monsters.
That's a very good
Alert,
comparison. By the way,
emergency,
this would have been an angle for Gabriel to
rescue.
respond if you have the Arias and Daruma Karma Cannon. I think this
That's
is the best
contained. So
position
he drew
you can
Extinguish.
build on, discarding the Arias
Let's
and
set
activating
5.
the Daruma Karma Cannon to just set this Fenrir and of course also the Turbulence.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, we saw Giovanni there just setting one of his trap cards, but in his list we see that he's running Contain and Extinguish, so I would personally assume that he drew
Let's go alert here, searches preventer.
He also can, of course, still right away activate one of the cards he just set. Even though it's a quick play spell, we have Hydron on the field, and that allows us to immediately activate one of those cards that were set this turn, and therefore we are going to, I think, grab Preventer there, was it? It looked like Preventer to
makes
me.
sense to me.
He's doing Reproducus.
And then we are going
Oh, no,
from
it's just
Link
IP.
into IP Masquerena. Of course, SP Little Knight being more popular, but still we see quite a bit of IP Masquerena this weekend, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
Vanish,
use Item Masquerade to go
Hydra,
into the
summon,
SP Little Knight, you,
Preventer.
even if you're starting the game, can get value off of the summon effect of SP Little Knight.
Set
which
the
is banishing a
Extinguish.
card from the field or the
I just
graveyard.
pass on that.
Very flexible here. Don't
So
get
the
confused
IP
by
can link
different
summon for
artworks.
SP.
There are two for
Um,
IP Masquerena.
SP will banish, and then the Preventer will summon back
So it
the
looks like Giovanni
Hydrant.
may be done with his turn, and
then
Gabriel
in
says
phase,
in end phase, I want to
Chandra
also start
discard
playing on
Ariana.
your turn, and we
That'll
are going
probably
to
set a
activate
big
one
welcome.
of these so-called furniture pieces of the Labyrinth deck, and this is going to be
No,
Chandelier
decides against Big
activated,
Welcome.
effect,
Looks at
sending
his hand.
Ariana to immediately
No,
send
he
a
decides
card
on Big
to
Welcome.
the field.
Yeah, Gabriel's deck, including an awful lot of this. So some of the Labyrinth decks play like a trap deck. You kind of set a bunch of powerful trap cards, skill drain, goes and match, whatever. But in this deck, you're
Draw
using a lot of
turn.
acceleration. Get your
Absolutely.
Labyrinth traps to summon the monsters.
Yeah, for sure. He
Now
plays
this
triple Chandelier and also triple
Main phase,
Stovetop.
extra.
And this first felt like not the strongest play ever because you are discarding two
I'm gonna
cards,
refuel
which
his
is
hand a
super.
little bit.
But those Labyrinth furniture
Nice thing about
pieces,
extra,
these Stovetop
so
Labyrinth
this version of Labyrinth doesn't want to play
cycle
Prosperity,
themselves all the time.
because they need card advantage to
this is the
fuel
right
their
step.
furniture cards.
Yeah, most likely. And then we can also start our turn off by activating Pot of Extravagance, as we know only at the start of main phase 1. But that's perfectly fine if we can resolve it and get 2 extra cards through it. And Gabriel now with everything ahead of him. 4 cards in the back row. It feels like a Labyrinth mirror match, but as you were just saying, the back row that the Rescue Ace deck has to offer isn't that impressive into Labyrinth.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see how Gabriel navigates this.
Oh, is that okay?
Stovey,
Look, there's the little brother of
discarding.
Chandelier. That is Stovey Torby, maybe even the big brother, some would argue, because it's the slightly better card, if you ask me.
It summons itself back to the field. However, this could trigger Kashtira Fenrir if you summon it back soon, and Kashtira Fenrir would be able to banish it
An
face down. We're
imperm.
discarding an Infinite Impermanence, which is
Ooh.
not a card that you necessarily always want to discard. However, it also doesn't hurt you to discard it. It's not
Sitting a
valuable
welcome
resource,
Labyrinth,
it's just
or maybe a
to
Labyrinth
have.
Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so he's going for
We're
field spell, and then
holding
we'll
back,
activate field spell,
activating
and then he'll
the,
activate his Big Welcome, and that'll be able to
Labyrinth trap that we
summon
said
and pop.
before, because we don't want
And
to
that
have a
will
card
return
face
all
up
of
on
his
the field
furniture
when we
to his
activate all
hand and
those
field.
effect monsters, or monster effects, and therefore we would be able
The
to
fuck is
trigger the
Josh
Fenrir,
playing?
so
It's
so
like
far
this
Gabriel
runic
perfectly playing
synchro
around the
Bestial
Fenrir,
deck.
and now
It's
we
based.
set the field spell, Labyrinth to our field as well.
I think that Giovanni just pointed his IP Masquerena, identifying that Labyrinth could be a really big powerhouse.
Giovanni gonna go
Like
SP here,
going
probably
for
trying to
SP
hit the
Little
field
Knight
spell.
already, possibly trying to target the Labyrinth, because of course every
The
time you
Preventer will
activate a
target the
Labyrinth
Hydra.
card, then you're going to trigger all of your Labyrinth Chandelier or Stovey Torbys in the graveyard.
Yeah, totally.
Ooh.
I like that. Because
Targeting
Gabriel can
Elif there, he wants
interact with a lot
follow-up.
of his things, but he cannot interact with the
Yeah.
set field spell right there, and therefore I like going after it with SP Little Knight, and that is exactly what's going to happen. And that card now
The
gone
Elif
for
there is gonna go grab another or Rescue HQ actually, because we already have the emergency set.
Away into the SP Little Knight, so we're going to be able to special summon out a
Yeah.
banish
So adds the field spell, and the field spell on the next turn can shuffle back all the Rescue Ace spells and monsters, and then all of them, and then draw a card. Also gives you a double normal summon. Follow up from Dragonetsia is more some Ariana, most likely trying to
Ariana,
pitch
if
a
this is negated or
coup
attempted
clock.
to, you know, interact with, then you can change.
Notably Giovanni here cannot
and summon another Labyrinth from the deck.
contain the Ariana, otherwise the Big Welcome gets chained, and so it dodges the negate.
Kind of forcing his opponent
But
to
the
make
Little
a
Knight is gonna
Big Welcome,
force
but
out,
Gabriel is,
and he's gonna
Gabriel's
banish the
saying, "I'm fine
Ariana
with
until
this
the
because
end
I'm
phase,
going to
so
resolve
the
the
Big
Ariana
Welcome cannot
anyways,
get any
right?"
advantage
Which
immediately.
is still get
Um,
the effect off of it, so I don't see the big problem for him with it. Now, what I think is going to be interesting, I thought he would maybe search for.
But this is also okay, because we can set some more cards, and then we can special summon Silver Castle, and then activate Big Welcome. And so the Silver Castle can't be targeted if you control more set cards.
But he decided to just
And so you just get a free Big Welcome that goes
Okay, we
uninterrupted.
set another card, we activate the effect of Lady Labyrinth, and we summon it out in defense position 2.
Lady Labyrinth super clutch here because all of Giovanni's interaction is targeting. And the Lady Labyrinth can't be targeted while you control a set, so Gabriel just setting another face down to prevent the Lady from ever being targeted.
Ooh, but Giovanni is thinking about a response here, and indeed he is going to
So we've got
respond with
here target our
alert,
Preventer.
apparently. An alert is going to target the Preventer in the graveyard.
I like that here. It's just solely to prevent the Lady from being able to set a trap.
Or
Yeah,
alert, my bad. I swap them around all the time.
It's not about the summon itself, but just preventing the effect of Lady is definitely valuable here.
Preventer can Book of Moon whatever is summoned here.
Some normal traps set. So the lady could chain off of those. However, with Big Welcome, the lady is probably going to be taken back to the hand. You're trying to maybe summon out a lovely.
Elo can also tribute itself to summon a Rescue Ace monster from hand if we need to.
Contain it or extinguish.
So if we have like a Turbulence in hand, we can Elo the Tribute itself, summon the Turbulence, and then extinguish a monster, and that would trigger the Turbulence to destroy another card. But that's very niche.
And Stovey in our graveyard, which both are going to recover and which are both going to come
we're just gonna Big Welcome, summon another Silver Castle, bounce the other Silver Castle, so the Silver Castle cannot be targeted by the Preventer or by the Extinguish and Contain.
What you said into account, Leo.
Yeah, I like that a lot because we basically just switched the.
And then your furniture obviously triggers. So Stovey will summon, Chandragleer will add self-cap.
If you want to special summon it from the hand via its own effect, you can only summon it in defense position.
Yeah, I think that was a very smart move there by Gabriel, and he's just accumulating resources here. So he wants this game to be very long. He wants this game to go on for a very certain time. Oh, but he does summon back the Stovey, which I find interesting because now we could use the Fenrir on the Stovey.
But Stovey is a quick.
He has a lot of options right now. Chaos Angel is a big option right now.
I'm pretty sure we used the Stovey this turn, didn't we? We started with Chandra.
If he really wants to, he could also discard the Chandragleer and set a Welcome Labyrinth for follow-up turns.
Because if we don't use it here, there might be Chaos Angel that comes down.
Yeah, it's good to keep in mind which of the Labyrinth cards prevent you from summoning from the extra deck. And I think it's just the ordinary Welcome.
Alright, he set the Labyrinth with the Stovey. Now
Yeah,
I was trying to find the card that he set with Stovey. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's gone
Giovanni doesn't
already.
seem to respond.
Yeah, and now he can just attack over the Fenrir, so that's really, really interesting.
Yep, I agree. I think it's we are attacking over
Ooh,
the Preventer.
interesting.
Might be because
Looks like
Preventer's
we're only gonna attack
special
over the
summoning
Preventer.
effect is of course
Playing a bit of a grind game here, so by getting rid of the Preventer here, our opponent's next turn is a lot
even if you summon
less
multiple
impactful because they don't have immediate Preventer reborn.
So Giovanni thinking about it carefully here. Is he going to respond? Is he going to do something about this? No! Preventer is being attacked. Preventer is being sent to the graveyard as a result of the as a result of this attack.
Yeah, Preventer was prevented.
Preventer was. I'm interested. Did you not just like set the Stovey there?
He could have. I mean, yeah, I like it because then you cannot activate the quick effect anymore. That's true.
Yeah, it's like why not?
Okay, we set one card into a
So new
column
card,
where
most likely
already
an
a card
Imperm.
is from Giovanni, so that may be an indicator that we comfortably discard the impermanence because there's another one in our hands.
Oh, that is a
In phase,
very
Ariana returns as well as the
summoning
SP.
back the Ariana this time.
Returns in the
defense
position that it
because
was
is
banished, so
returned to the
return in
field.
attack
That's
position.
why we're returning it in attack position.
The Stovey cannot activate its
But it
effects.
also has another effect. And now we're activating the Stovey. Is this possible?
Yeah, I think this was the first action this turn rather than the Chandragleer, but maybe we got them in the incorrect order. But I think Leo is correct that we've already used it once this turn.
I would say so too. And I mean, we are still on the same turn, so this should probably just not be possible.
Yeah, Giovanni's not drawn a card yet for his turn, so...
Indeed.
Did he activate the Stovey in the end phase?
I think it was the Chandragleer. I might be wrong.
I mean, he activated the Chandragleer in the end phase, and maybe he activated also the Stovey. That is a possibility.
No, I mean, maybe we got it wrong. It's very possible.
We can't hear what the players are saying, so this might be room for some confusion.
Yeah, I think the Stovey was a legal play,
If the judges have
which is a
anything
bit
to say about
sad.
that. If not, then we are.
But it doesn't really change a lot.
However, let's focus on the game state again, because this did not look like a very impressive turn from Gabriel Nets. He just summoned out a big monster with 3,000
Activate
attack
HQ.
points there, and he now has 3 cards.
We still
set.
unfortunately
What it does
have
is pressure
all of our spell traps, so we
now
can't
has
really
to
shuffle back
out of the
anything,
list.
but we
Lady Labyrinth, and that is
activating
what
it now
he's
for the
using
double
out
normal
time,
summon, and then we'll
especially
probably
with this
use
deck.
these spell
He needs to
traps
wait. His opponent has to go over many motions
during
to
this
get rid of that
turn,
card, and then he could just
and
summon
then
out
just
the
get a
other one.
turbulence to reset all
Yeah,
of
it's
them.
very annoying and very inefficient to deal with those face-down cards. Some decks kind of just breeze through them, but other decks, you know, you have to go to a lot of effort, and the Rescue Ace interactions are mostly with monsters.
Okay, the judges are catching it now.
Yeah, I
Judges
do
there just
agree.
confirming.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, we caught it correctly, or at least we are trying to think about it here, because Stovey Torby was definitely the effect was used there the second time, because Stovey Torby is the only one that can send himself from the field there. And now the question, of course, is going to be whether it was the Chandelier that was used in this previous turn or whether it was Stovey Torby.
It's good that we are actually paying attention sometimes.
Yeah. We're just double checking now. As you can see, the judges are kind of reconstructing what was happening there.
Rare occurrence, huh?
Very.
But I'm very sure that I started off saying that Chandelier was the one activated in the end phase, right? I'm pretty convinced that was the case.
Chandelier was 100% in the end.
So this will probably be a judge call as they rewind game state.
And then, of course,
But the Chandelier was used in Giovanni's in phase, and then the Stovey was used
it was definitely
in
the same turn, I'm very sure.
Gabriel's main phase.
Also come down in the end phase.
So the only thing that could possibly activate is the Chandelier.
Something with the extravagance, right?
Okay, so now... Okay, Stovey Torby has been...
But that changes
so
the
we have
Fenrir
agreed that
banish
Stovey
face down
Torby
because
was used that turn before.
instead of banishing the useless Ariana,
So I think
we'll
we're
just banish the
rewinding
Stovey
end
face
phase
down.
And Gabriel's using the Chandelier rather than the Stovey Torby.
Yeah, true.
Another Kashtira Fenrir wants to chain.
Oh no, maybe we've gone...
Now I'm confused.
yeah, now we're into Giovanni's turn, so maybe we weren't rewinding. And just using the Chandelier.
It seems like they resolved it without issue.
Giovanni's turn, but then I don't see how you could activate the big welcome.
Alright, so we now figured it all out. I think I just got the information by the judges that by mistake, Gabriel was trying to activate Chandelier all the time, but he wasn't aware, or in that moment forgot that he could only send cards in hand for that. So he was trying to activate Chandelier, but he sent the Stovey Torby from the field, which of course is not possible.
Aha.
Okay, emergency. Oh, but big welcome Labyrinth has been...
I mean, it's kind of excusable. Gabriel Nets has never played Labyrinth before.
He's having a lovely time on the field, and of course, most likely trying to destroy something. Are we going after something on the field here? Probably with Turbulence, right?
After Fenrir.
Maybe even Fenrir? You could be right.
I mean, if Fenrir takes out the lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle and banishes it face down, then it's
So
gone
lovely turning 1, turning 2
for
Chandelier.
this game, and this really hurts the grind game of the deck.
Yeah, I do agree. That could be the solution. But maybe there's an impermanence set, and then that could also be prevented somehow.
We have to wait and see, because Giovanni can chain to the lovely perhaps, and the lovely you don't actually have to choose until it resolves.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Chandelier
Chandelier
activating
goes
here
back to
again,
hand,
returning to the
lovely
hand, and
pops
we go
rescue
after the
HQ.
field spell. So both players deciding that the field spell of the opponent's deck maybe is the most important card for the duel, and therefore
then on
also the
resolution,
headquarter goes to the graveyard now.
Fenrir target
but let's
lovely,
not forget
Turbulence
that you can
target the
also
set to
activate the
destroy.
effect of Turbulence there, going after
So
the
you're
back
gonna
row
chain
too.
this imp
Some people
targeting
forget about
the-
that effect sometimes.
Well, this welcome.
So Gabriel is forced to chain the Welcome Labyrinth there.
Leo himself just looks fairly shocked at that.
No, I just definitely only got the card up for the audience to also read the text. Did I say also read the text?
I mean, honestly, it is surprising, because Turbulence, for the first effect, is already so crazy that you can just set 4 cards from your deck, and then just casually on the side also being able
And
to,
then we're
when
chaining
one of
Silver
your
Castle
cards
to our
on the
Welcome
field leaves
Labyrinth,
the
which
field because of
gives
an opponent's card
Giovanni
effect,
the
then destroy
opportunity
one
to
card on
chain
the opponent's
SP
side of
here
the
if he
field.
really
Seems
wants.
like a nice add-on, isn't it?
With the Fenrir targeted lovely.
Yeah, okay, Welcome Labyrinth now.
So there's no reason to chain the SP here because the Silver Castle still can't be targeted because he controls the set card, so the SP would be just be targeting the same thing as the Fenrir, which is the lovely to banish face down.
Have so many resources in mind all the time. You have to kind of calculate on how long the game is going to go on, how long you want the game to go, because you are kind of dictating the
Silver
pace of
Castle's
the
gonna
Welcome
sit
Labyrinth deck,
Imperm.
and therefore you always have to have
Welcome is
so
probably
many
gonna summon an
factors in mind.
Ariana,
Yeah, it's a bit like constructing a clock.
Yeah.
and then Fenrir will banish lovely face down.
Oh, we might actually see Kuklok, and we are getting rid of the lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. Gabriel decides it's worth to activate the effect to just destroy the HQ, because it would generate more value than having the lovely Labyrinth in the game as well.
Welcome
And
goes
now I'm
away.
curious to see
New chain,
what the game is
Ariana,
going to surge up. Maybe we're going to get a Kuklok
probably
out
adding
to
Kuklok.
make this impermanence life that he just has set by the Lady effect.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the only part of the engine that is still missing, right? We have Stovey Torby in rotation, we have the Chandelier in rotation, and the only thing that is missing is the Kuklok. but of course we could also just go for one of the trap cards to have more setup for the next turn, assuming that we're going to survive here. But
New chain,
of course,
contain,
Giovanni
targeting
is
Ariana
still
to negate it.
responsible for all the traps that he set, and he finally gets a chance to do so, to activate contain here, and contain is probably going to target that Ariana here.
It's the only target, right? Can't target the lady at the moment.
Oh, but Gabriel may have another response here.
This is looking troubling.
The rumor cannon to set everything, which is really good because it gets rid of the SP.
Cards in the game that will immediately get rid of the SP Little Knight, but it also sets all the other monsters face down. However, I think that this turn, Kashira, Fenrir, and Turbulence might
So
be
SP is just going to banish the Fenrir and its up until the end phase. The Ariana goes face down, it's no longer being negated. The Silver also goes face down, and Gabriel is free to surge, follow up.
So that was an easy way to avoid it. And I like getting the Fenrir also off the field. You kind of had to target something, and I think the Fenrir there might have been the correct choice.
Kuklock is an interesting ad here.
Has just been shut off because you can't activate a trap card this turn unless you already control a Labyrinth monster.
Indeed. Okay, normal summon Hydrant.
Oh,
that is a pretty good normal summon to have there.
The Turbulence can't be flipped face up because it was summoned this turn.
Now. It's more set monsters than set spell and trap
So normal summon Hydrant, activating Kuklock here.
There comes
And then activating Chandraklia, discarding the Stovey.
Discarding Stovey Torby. We knew about those cards in hand.
That is good, because now we know how we get this Kuklock live again, because Kuklock is now going to special summon itself out, and you're able to activate a card, actually, and that is going to be the Impermanence, probably.
That was the Ku, and now your Imperm is live.
Yeah, very well planned by Gabriel. Looking good. Can he do this? But Impermanence always, of course, kind
So you're going to go Extinguish, targeting the Kuklock, and then chain the Imperm on the Fire Hydrant. Just much better than activating your Hydrant and then it being negated.
Smartly enough, Gabriel just chains the Impermanence on the Hydrant.
Do we think there are more targets for Turbulence if you just flip summon it now?
Yeah, I think we can set up to 4, right? So it's fine. So we are
The emergency can banish itself and then reset a Rescue a spell trap from your graveyard. And the one that is choosing to reset here is the Extinguish, which is the pop.
Triple Tactics talents and somebody plays Book of Moon, you can just flip it up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I assume there's nothing on Daruma Karma Cannon that says otherwise, right?
I don't think he's going to flip it back up.
Oh, this would have been a very disruptive, destructive Daruma Karma Cannon right there, if this is the end of Giovanni's turn. Gabriel Nets must be on the edge of his seat right now. That was the pass.
In fact.
In phase,
To get the SP back though, and
SP will return itself and the Fenrir.
Forgot about those, and then Gabriel said, "Hey, it's not that bad."
Nothing to quite do here in the end phase.
Because if you flipped up the
The face down all at Silver Cross and Ariana.
so then, you know, quite a lot
This can
happens there. The Hydrant
be
might not
bridged
be
into a
full
Muckraker to
damage.
reborn the Ariana if you want so. You can also
Turbulence on the field as well, or was
Yeah,
it summoned this turn?
It was on the
you can
top.
also welcome Labyrinth into another Ariana
Okay,
and then
so
make a rank 4.
Checking the options. Or maybe Destructive Karma Cannon says you cannot flip them back up. I'm just double checking on that real quick.
But he really needs to get his
The Destructive
big welcomes
Karma
back into rotation because his Lovely has been banished.
Okay.
So his primary grind game tool in Lovely is not accessible anymore. So that means he needs to really manage his resources carefully.
Yep, there it is. Ariana also being flip summoned. And what's next, Gabriel? Do you have a way?
You want to be able
monsters
to
over the field? I mean, battle phase is
clear everything and also
attacking
set
over the
a
hydrant,
card before you
taking
activate
out
the set
opponent's
welcome Labyrinth.
monster.
Otherwise, the
Number
Extinguish
one,
can take care of the
but
Silver
Giovanni
Castle,
may
which
have
is
an answer
your
ready.
Ariana, of course, a
current
powerhouse
grind
in
game
terms of
tool.
attack and defense. But we're
So
going to
Ariana's
hopefully
taking over the
find out
Hydrant,
now
which is really good
SP
because it gives all your Rescue stuff bonus effects and prevents
Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle
if you
is
control
right
Rescues once the
now.
Hydrant can't be targeted for attacks or by card effects.
1-6 and 2-1
And
defense.
then
It's just
the
so big for a level 4.
Silver Castle is going to take over the Fenrir because Fenrir is really annoying to deal with when you have all this furniture.
Because Kashira Fenrir, it looks more
The
threatening.
SP is kind of whatever because all of your stuff can be chained or can't be targeted. And you're playing the grand game anyway, so this SP isn't going to accomplish a lot because it's not generating advantage for Giovanni.
This game 1 already such a long and draining
So that means we don't have another trap in hand to set, or another spell even to set. So this SB can just tag out for the Silver Castle and deny the set from deck. What it can also do is Giovanni can extinguish the Silver Castle here and just get it out of rotation.
And this is looking, I don't know how it's looking.
So
right
SB's
now.
gonna activate Banish the Silver Castle into end phase, which is fine.
From Gabriel, because now that he's forced out the SP Little Knight, you can chain the big welcome from your graveyard. Get rid of that SP Little Knight for good, and then trigger all of your furniture from the grave.
Oh, look at that. Gabriel has
The big welcome,
exactly that
because he
combo
controls level 8 to higher
approach
fiend, it can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So SB needs to banish both targets for it to banish until the end phase. So if big welcome bounces the SB, neither target gets banished into the end phase, and on resolution, all of his furniture will retrigger his Chandragleer and his Stovey Torby to summon back and add back respectively,
Yeah, sorry, Gabriel, can't do that yet. You just
which
have
will
to
get him
summon
more
them
access to big welcomes.
Also, I just double checked. The Rumor Cannon.
This Welcome Labyrinth can either summon another Ariana or could summon Arias.
So he could have absolutely flipped the Turbulence back up. So maybe a big mistake there for Giovanni. Of course, Gabriel.
And he's choosing to
far more
summon
experienced
Arias.
player, having a bunch of tops on his resume, and Giovanni a new face here in our coverage.
Now we have Ariana, the Labyrinth Servant. We're pointing at it.
Okay. The Welcome Labyrinth was already in the graveyard, gets reset, and then the Stovey and the Chandragleer also gets reset. And at that point, Giovanni's just going to scoop it up because the ball has started rolling for Gabriel.
After a perfect turbulence
Very grindy game.
Start. This was looking very good, but he just went through it with a monster with 3,000 attack.
I think I'm going to
points.
lose my voice by the end of the stream, like deadass.
That he's confident in himself. He was
How the
nodding.
fuck do
He was
people do
really,
12-hour
really
streams?
happy that he could win this going second because the setup
I don't
really was
smoke.
immense. And
True.
still, he was able to get through all of that. He really wants to win it this
And
time.
they
I
drink
think
water.
He's ready. He had
I've
enough
been
to
drinking
just
coffee
top.
and
He
Coke.
wants the win this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really rare sight to see what we saw from Gabriel there, just allowing the Rescue Ace deck to do everything it wants and then just pushing through it anyway. I think a lot of players said, if I'm playing against Rescue Ace, I have to stop the Turbulence. If I let them resolve the Turbulence, that's just too much to push through.
Yeah.
But Gabriel says, no.
Exactly.
You don't have to push, you just slightly shove from turn to turn, and all of a sudden your opponent is falling down the metaphorical Yu-Gi-Oh cliff.
Yeah, and it's actually quite interesting because we saw Giovanni, yes, he made a cool field, but he decided not to include the Synchro package into his extra deck and also not the Cybers package. So he just goes for SP Pass all the time, apparently, or maybe IP Masquerena, like one of that.
Okay, so
But there's
Giovanni
no
is playing
there's
Toolbox
no
Rescue
Resolve,
Ace,
there's none of the,
which is
Cyber
a
stuff
slightly
that
more
was saying,
grindy
so
version of
it's
Rescue Ace that
just
aims
not
to
enough because
really
he
just
didn't
control the
have
game
extra
state, whereas the other variants want to accomplish an end board. Toolbox is just, hey, I have options. I want options going second. I want options in the grind game. I have inevitability. Which is good in a lot of matchups, but Toolbox actually loses to Labyrinth because the actual Rescue Ace cards don't end up doing a lot against Labyrinth, whereas if you ended on, say, like Terahertz, it would do a lot.
Yes, and I think that both of the players are already set.
Even
for
like
game two, so let's
Firewall
go.
Heat Soul does a lot more than just SP Pass into Labyrinth.
Additionally, cool cards to bring in versus the Labyrinth strategy, which don't seem amazing initially, are the Bestials, because you can just take care of the Chandeliers and the Stovey Torbys of the world, because those, of course, activate in the graveyard. And then
Starting
the
off with
map
Fenrir
is
again,
very small
Fenrir
from
probably
our
grabbing
level
another
is
Fenrir,
definitely something
playing
you
into
wanna do,
Droll,
and
but
it's
Droll
definitely
is not
something that
in
you
the
can
deck
ultimately
anymore,
win.
so it's free to do this. People commonly side out their Drolls against Rescue Ace in post side. And so the reason why the Fenrir is really good here is, as you see, the Deep Star engine can really send the Fenrir that you added.
Okay, so Giovanni
the extra Fenrir, I should say. And that just gets the ball rolling for your engine for free. And you get a draw off of Wanted as well, so it replaces itself, so this is literally just +1 plus full combo. But Vela hits the Diabell Star, which is okay, it's not the best, and then the follow-up for Prosperity will probably find us either an Emergency, which is sort of combo. It can find us a Hydrant, which is sort of combo. It can find us any amount of Airlifters, which is full combo. So we're looking at Durandal, Reinforcements of the Omni, and also Simple Swiss with Snake Eye, an actual Airlifter. So there's a decent amount of the deck is Airlifters, essentially.
Sometimes could also be enough, let's be real. Okay, so Impulse is there.
Finds Emergency, finds Simple Swiss with Snake Eyes, and finds Airlifter. So he's probably just gonna pick up just the Airlifter. And from there you can just Airlifter fetch the emergency tribute, the Diabell Star, and then get Hydrant from deck, Hydrant add the Turbulence.
He has someone sign that card.
And then from there you can make a little SB, and then set up a Preventer and set 4. With IP, sorry, not SB.
Sure, it was me.
I see you signing cards all weekend.
Nah, it wasn't me, I'm pretty sure. Giovanni was busy playing the tournament, so he wasn't asking for autographs.
The 2 points on SQS here would obviously be Ash on this Emergency, would be really crucial. Giovanni will probably choose to keep the Airlifter on field. That means the Hydrant cannot be targeted, or he could choose to go straight into this Turbulence because he hard drew
to set 4 spell or trap cards of the Rescue Ace archetype.
hard drew the Hydrant.
He does not side any additional trap cards, so it's just probably going to be the same setup that we also had in the last game. Okay. Or maybe he just sets 1 trap again. Looks like he may have drawn the 1 trap once more. Maybe he also sided it out though, because it's not that great versus Labyrinth, let's be honest.
Yeah, maybe you would rather have more spell cards to gain more additional value, and of course to stop the Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle to set spell or trap cards, or rather just trap cards. Definitely just trap cards, to be honest.
So we're set 5 past here, so we're just playing essentially Turbulence control. The alert will be able to add back Airlifter, which is guaranteed follow-up, and the rescue will also be able to add follow-up.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
So we're looking at emergency or an imperm. Imperm rather, yeah. Imperm, another imperm, and a trident. And then as well as the Fenrir, which is another interruption, and the turbulence, which can be another interruption. But end phase here, we're gonna go Chandraklia again, discarding a big welcome, setting a welcome labyrinth.
If you have a Fiend monster on the field.
Yeah, indeed. So Gabriel, another card that he has included into his deck there, which we just had a quick look at, is the Phantasme. And I think Giovanni might have just played around that here, right? He did not link summon because Phantasme has been a very popular card in a lot of side decks that I saw throughout the tournament, throughout the weekend already.
Okay.
And
his hand must be really weird because he is setting big welcome here, which is a little funky. Maybe he thinks that he needs the immediate value from the... Okay, no, it makes sense. There's Silver Cost on hand, so this big welcome can fetch him his furniture back, and it can fetch him a spell trap from deck, because the Silver Cost won't be able to be targeted. As well as you can freely bounce back the Silver Castle, and that'll be able to fetch you whatever you need. Ultimately, you do have to try and play through, obviously, the Fenrir and the possible 2 imperms and the Extinguish, but this is a good start.
So now Gabriel immediately again going into that pose where you see that he's really thinking.
It's a very stressful situation to be in, because there are clear lines here, but all of your lines kind of end with your opponent interrupting you. So you need to choose the best and the most efficient ones to be able to really thrive in the ground game.
To play through your
The Gabriel here decides he's going to go battle phase, attack over the Fenrir, so that clears that. And then still in battle phase. Gonna activate the big welcome. Nothing can get chained here. And then except Ash, which is huge.
That's the card you want to have versus the Labyrinth strategy. The field,
which is absolutely huge.
Game, but that card in hand, that Ash Blossom and Joy Spring may be the game deciding factor here.
Main phase 2, just set another card and pass. The Ash is extremely detrimental. Cuts off the grind game of the deck significantly.
Their deck is just so generically good, but it stops your, I want to do some quotation marks here with my hands, combo.
Yeah, I mean, just compare how long the
so in the end phase here, we're going to go alert, we're going to target our airlifter,
and now this one right here, that was
add it back to our hand.
Huge difference just because of that one Ash Blossom.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. You get like multiple effects. You get the lady, you get the Chandraglare from the graveyard, just from negating the one big welcome.
Yep, okay.
Oh, wow.
And then Gabriel just decided he's going to scoop there. Rescue is too far ahead, he cannot catch up in the grind game either, and it's basically just over.
See what kind of difference one Ash Blossom makes there.
All roads that Gabriel could take there ended in interrupt and then him losing card advantage.
Do you remember the first time we saw that version of Labyrinth being very popular?
Even if Giovanni didn't have the Ash, it would still be incredibly difficult for Gabriel to tear through that and have enough interruption for the turn 3 in order to prevent the Turbulence reset fall. Because the airlifter would fetch HQ, and then HQ would be able to chop everything back for a while, and you would be able to Turbulence again to reset everything.
Trap cards to fall back on you. You played Rumor Karma Cannon. I have seen players play around with the Dogmatica Punishment and the Ice Dragon's Prisons. Those are very valuable cards as well. They also gain some resources sometimes, in the case of Dogmatica Punishment at least. But yeah, I mean, if you're just playing without those backup traps, we've also seen Solemn Strikes.
All important game 3 though, Gabriel Ness will be starting. Furniture Lab it's actually slower going first than it is going second, believe it or not, because the turn 0 acts as sort of a setup turn for Labyrinth. Whereas going first, you can't actually do a lot of interruptions, you're just mainly looking to stop your opponent from gaining too much advantage, and then on follow-up turns you can gain more and more advantage slowly and just overwhelm over a period of time.
Starting, he can accumulate this advantage from the Labyrinth monsters in his hand earlier, but we are seeing double Lightning Storm on the side of Giovanni.
Wow, that's crazy. So Gabriel leading this off. For the first time in this entire match, he finally gets to go first with his Labyrinth deck. So he should be happy, but he doesn't look necessarily happy at the moment. He's really trying to come up with something here.
Sometimes this deck also just doesn't deliver. We call this in the community a brick hand sometimes, if you just can't find your way into any good place or just have some lackluster place. And this might be the case for Gabriel now. This might happen sometimes with him.
Yeah, totally. I think overall the terminology brick is kind of overused. People like still do stuff, but they are going to call
so starting off in Arias, I'm gonna go set a welcome, and then that welcome can be used this turn. You're gonna activate Silver Castle Summon first, and then activate the welcome, and then chain Silver Castle. Ooh, shit.
Setting a trap
fucking crazy.
And now Ariana right after. This is looking nice.
Oh, and we're going to see the infinite
Impum Ariana, that matters very little.
The welcome labyrinth that can be activated. This is not a big welcome labyrinth, so you cannot use it to bounce back the Ariana.
Arias also gets triggered to summon back.
You can chain the Arias from the graveyard because there was an effect reacting to a labyrinth effect of Gabriel.
I was wondering also, do you want to chain the lady here
as well? You could totally.
Yeah. He's got to pick one there.
Oh, he does it. Does he? I mean, he has the welcome labyrinth, so he could chain to that one as well.
Yeah. But that might be negated by Ash Blossom. I think that's one of the things you think about with the.
You can go. You can do a lot here. You can go chaining one Arias to respond to the Impum, and then chaining 2 welcome labyrinth, and then chain your Silver Castle.
This is top 6.
Or chaining 1 Impum, chaining 2 Arias, chaining 3 Impum, chaining 4 Silver Castle.
Do you go all
Or
in,
plus
or do you
1.
trade it
So
for
Ariana Chilling 1, Chilling 2, Imperm, Chilling 3, Arias Chilling 4, Imper, welcome, sorry, and then Chilling 5, the Silver Castle. But it really depends on what he wants to do here.
But now using Welcome Labyrinth.
So he decided to chain that, and the lady not at all.
I think he chained the lady as well.
Oh yeah, that might be true. He just accesses the deck with it.
Yeah. I mean, no, this is for Welcome Labyrinth, but I'm pretty
So Welcome
sure
Labyrinth is going to summon the furniture here, and then Silver Castle is most likely going to set a big welcome.
Chainlink number 3 was the lady, and then Chainlink number 4 was the Welcome Labyrinth as well, which makes sense because you are checking out whether your opponent has an Ash Blossom for that, and that kind of makes your decision on the lady as well there on what to set. So I do like it by Gabriel there a lot. So, Gabriel, so far, only 1 draw and 1 loss in the entire tournament.
Setting Eradicator instead.
Is his card of choice there, okay.
Oh, and we have seen it before. There is a Lightning Storm in Giovanni's hand too, even. So you can actually go for a devastating spell card.
Chandraglia being able to send the Stovey, being able to set Big Welcome.
We can set so many cards. The Big Welcome Labyrinth.
So what we can do here in the draw phase of Giovanni is we can Big Welcome, bounce the Ariana, summon Lovely Chaining 1, Chaining 2 the Furniture and the Welcome Labyrinth, and then the last chain would be the Eradicator. So the Eradicator is going to rip out all the spells in Giovanni's hand, and then the Lovely is going to rip out a non-spell, leaving Giovanni with hopefully very little cards.
Fans in the crowd, they're going crazy right here because of this opening, and now we're going to see what happens next. Gabriel Nets is hesitating over the Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Is he just going to activate it immediately?
Is he waiting? If he is waiting, that might be bad because then the light
So, draw phase, Big Welcome, chain the Silver Castle obviously, and you'll be able to set a Imperm or Daruma Cannon, either or.
Okay, Destructive Daruma Cannon was very successful in game 1. He wants to have it again then. There comes Kuklok.
Kuklok is immediately being bounced back
Risk-free.
as well.
So what this does is essentially it skips
the Welcome Labyrinth from the graveyard. You can activate the Chandelier. This is so much value on Gabriel Nets.
What this does is it essentially skips having to
The Ariana can draw a card. We gotta wait just 1 more second.
This is
what's the word I'm looking for?
1, 2, 3, 4, all the things happening, all the
What this does instead is allows you to use the Daruma Cannon as well as... Whoa. This is not how I expected Gabriel Nets to resolve this. Okay, he's gonna activate Kuklok, so that makes his Daruma Cannon live, and it makes his Welcome Labyrinth live.
Okay, Giovanni, what is he starting with? He's just checking. Welcome Labyrinth and Daruma Cannon are the cards he has to deal with. Norman Summon Airlifter using the effect, of course. Gabriel, does he even have a response to that? I would be thinking no, and therefore the thumbs up is coming. Giovanni reaching his hands to the deck.
But does he need a response to that? That is the big question. You can respond to other stuff. I think the only play that you can go for is searching out an emergency right here. And once you go for the emergency, special summon out something else, you can use the Daruma Karma Cannon to end the turn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
Airlift is gonna go grab emergency.
Getting closer and closer to timeout. So maybe Giovanni just wants to go into the back.
Other 2 cards in hand are Trap Card and the Hydrant. So the Hydrant is now offline, so the only line of play that Giovanni possibly has is activating Urgency, which will get met by the Daruma Cannon.
Oh, look at that, okay. Oh yeah, we want to get ahead in life points. That's 100 points of damage for Gabriel Nats, and those 100 points of damage could be impactful because, as you see, 5 minutes left on the round here.
Giovanni is thinking, his face is already giving it away. This does not look good.
Ash Emergency, that is game.
And Gabriel Nats is advancing to the top 8 of YCS Bologna.
What a show! Gabriel Nats is just
So even if Gabriel didn't have the Ash there, anything that Giovanni would summon would immediately get Daruma Cannon, and then on follow-up Stovey gets to set, Chandraglia gets to set, and it's just like way over
We
lethal.
were thinking, wow, he's hesitating a little bit. Usually the first turn lines of the deck are kind of obvious, but if you have so many plays, you just have to think a little bit about it. For the Arias, the Lady, the Welcome, the Ariana, even through the Impermanence, this was the absolute perfect setup. We got into our engine, we have so much value, and we even eradicated our opponent for those
Reese, my best friend, are you there?
valuable side deck cards.
Yeah,
I
love
am.
that. The crowd, of course,
You guys are
celebrating the
quiet when
winner
I'm
of this feature match,
commentating.
but I think also the friends of the loser here, the friends of
Yeah, I have
Giovanni,
nothing to say because I have no
applauding
clue what
him
the
for,
fuck's
of
going
course,
on.
a very great run all the way into top 16 here too at a home YCS in Bologna. I love to see that as well.
I don't know that the
Cannot be
people,
understated just
the
how
people
much of
here,
an
what's
achievement it is to make it to the top 16. I mean, it's always
meant to be
we always
happening.
talk about the winner of a
I
feature
know
match,
also
but,
happen to be watching
you know,
Magic,
there are
the
nearly
semifinals now.
2,500 players here this
Ooh.
weekend, and
Totally.
you've come in the top 16. So
Any
you've
familiar
beat
faces?
over 2,000 players.
Yeah,
You've
but
done
now
such a
that you
fantastic
mentioned
No, these are
those
random
last
Europeans.
16
I don't follow pro
players,
players
let's have
because
another look at who still is left in competition. Let's see the
That's fair.
bracket and let's see who's still fighting,
I'm not that
competing
interested
here
in them.
for the last remaining top spot.
I
For
don't need their
the
spice. I have my own spice.
YCS finals. Oh, and look
Yo,
at
look at
that.
this.
We
Matteo
already
on
have a
Telements, Yuhu
result
An on
between
Labyrinth,
Adriano
Simon He on
and
Mikanko,
Simon,
and then
Simon,
Joshua
he's
Smith on his
moving on, and he'll be meeting
in top
Joshua
8.
Schmidt in top 8. What a matchup.
Simon He
And then
versus Joshua
after
Smith,
that,
so
we
Mikanko
also
versus
have
the
Yo-Ho.
Bestial
Oh, no, it's top
branded
16
Runic
at this
Synchro deck.
point.
So that match is happening
So we've got
right now.
Labyrinth, Telement, Bestial Runic Synchro,
So
and
interestingly
Mikanko
enough, so
in the top 8 of
Joshua
YCS.
is right now. That's crazy. Then we also have